guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily, Thursday Thoughts. Des here. Looking forward to your questions. Of course, on a Thursday, it's all about answering whatever you guys throw at me, the viewers. Really look forward to it. Really looking forward to getting stuck in again. Got some good questions today. Really sort of a real variation, well, a little bit of a variation. There's a couple along the same subject that'll all become clear. But as ever, I'd just like to let you know how I'm getting along. Feeling much better today, feeling much more with it. Still not done too much activity ahead of the weekend and the half marathon, but really starting to sort of come around. A little bit tired, feel a little bit almost just from the event at the weekend, just feeling a little bit almost jet lagged, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Camping, getting up, doing runs at different times, having a bit of sleep here and there during the day. Not really settled all week, so just sort of let myself come round to it. We'll get out for a run over the next day or two before the half marathon. The blisters are healing nicely as well, so hopefully I'll get out there and do it. Just had a great session with the guys, the coaching. Another real consistent month from so many of them. Just keep doing what we do, keep getting in plenty of activity. Of course, I always encourage that. I always encourage people to get involved wherever they can. And yesterday on Wednesday workout, I mentioned I've not done it myself, and I don't kind of like admitting that, but this is honest, realistic. Try to make it relatable. So when I'm not in the right place to do it, I've just got to say why and what I'm going to do about it. And that's all I've tried to do this week. It's a case of pushing on, pushing through. Whilst I'm feeling great, I just wish I had a bit more activity in to give me that little bit more confidence ahead of this half marathon. But I'm sure when I get there, it's London, it's the London Landmarks half. I'll be really sort of inspired by the streets, by the landmarks. When you run in London, it's something else. It's a real great experience. I've been fortunate enough in the past to do the London Marathon. Probably the best running experience of my life. And I've also done the Royal Park, so I'm kind of ticking another one off on these London majors, so to speak. So real exciting weekend ahead. But around that, I've got so many things to do. Going out for a meal tomorrow evening, and then it's Kay's birthday party, which is going to be an epic event locally before jumping on a bus at 4 a.m. and getting down to London. Pushing myself a bit much there, but it's what I do. It's what I enjoy, and I'd only regret it if I didn't. After the event, we've got a couple of days to celebrate Kay's birthday. It's actually Monday. I'm really taking being away, taking the city. We love London between us, so it'll be a great place to go and do one or two things. Got one or two things planned, so really looking forward to those. All good stuff, all making me feel good about what I'm doing. And like I say, whilst I like to encourage all this activity and well-being and health and all these things, this is just an opportunity to pass on one or few bits of information. A little bit light-hearted today, nothing too serious, and that's good. I always encourage people to post in the questions, whether they are serious, whether they're quirky, whether they, downright silly. It doesn't matter because this is just my vlog, a way of trying to sort of share information among the people that watch it, give people the chance to interact, get involved, pass on their opinions, try to motivate and inspire others. And that's all we're about on DOdaily, isn't it? That's all I try to do. Just live a normal life, pass it across as I see it, as I do it. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. What's the worst that can happen? At the end of the day, people will either watch it or they won't. So thanks to those that do. Thanks for all the input. As ever, we'll go straight into last week's throwback question. What's your all-time favourite Olympic Games moment? Some good responses to this, and for me personally, there's so many. I mentioned, I think I mentioned last week on DOdaily, the 1988 hockey team led by Sean Curley, one of the first Olympics I can remember. It was kind of a surprise win from what I can remember. I think the ladies did well then as well. Jane Sixsmith, I don't know where I'm plucking these names from. 1992, of course, we had Linford Christie won the showpiece event, the 100 metres, and that's always the one we watch out for, isn't it? And you had the likes of Sally Gunnell, John Regis, and some top athletes there. And then we kind of went into a bit of a lull, didn't we? We didn't have very much. I watched a programme a couple of weeks ago, actually, about the National Lottery and how an injection of funds really sort of boosted what we do today. And already we've had a fantastic start this time around, haven't we? Some great efforts and gold medals, silver medals, and bronze, of course. So that was interesting. Check that out on BBC iPlayer. But of course, the big one for everybody in Britain is probably 2012. What an Olympics, what feel good factor about the nation. I kind of thought back to that last week and thought, God, imagine feeling like we did then. Just the torch being relayed around. I actually remember that year the Queen came to Nottingham. Being a bit of a royalist, that was a big thing as well. The Red Arrows flew across the Market Square here in Nottingham. All these little things, created real buzz and feel good. And then of course there was Super Saturday, weren't they? The all those gold medals, Mo, Jessica Ennis, Nick Rutherford, Greg Rutherford, not Nick Rutherford, someone I know. And one or two others, and that was absolutely brilliant. Everyone kind of remembers where they were from that, don't they? Dawn says Mo Farah's 2 gold medals. She was shouting and screaming. Kay said Super Saturday as a whole. I really enjoyed the Jessica Ennis moment. Real sort of real good stuff there. And a great evening to be a British Olympic fan, and one that I don't think any of us will ever forget. Got the DVD somewhere of those games. Something really inspiring. I might actually dig it out. I've not been watching that much on the TV recently. It'll be great to sort of stick that in and relive all that. And like I say, it just made everyone feel good, doesn't it? And that's what we're trying to do here, is inspire and motivate people. If anything, I've mentioned in the last couple of weeks, football does that. When England were doing well in the Euros, but the Olympic Games is brilliant for it as well. We all get stuck into those sports that we know barely anything about. We learn the rules. We think we're experts. We're kind of hooked on them for about 2 weeks, and then we never watch them again. Things like curling, table tennis, all those bizarre things. I think there's a couple of quirky events in the Olympics right now. Skateboarding and freeside basketball, which is interesting. Just one last one in terms of favourite all-time moment. I'm just sort of reading this. Ben says that his pick has to be Ellie Simmonds winning gold at the Paralympics in Beijing in 2008 in the 100-metre freestyle, and then breaking her own world record to win the 400-metre free at the age of 13. That's absolutely staggering, isn't it? And that's what the Olympic kind of does. It produces stars. It produces sort of people we can admire and look up to. And the Paralympics even more so to some degree. Just seeing how people battle adversity and difficulties and come through it. And again, that's something I like to do here, talk about the not so good times and find ways to sort of turn that into a positive. So some real good stuff there. And it leads really nicely into the first question, which is for Megan. What is your favourite sport to watch in the Olympics? I mentioned the hockey there for some reason from that moment. In 1988, I always look out for the hockey. I love watching the basketball, the USA team, just because they're so good, and I like basketball. They actually got beaten this Olympics, which was a real shock by France. The athletics, being a runner, I think the athletics is the real one, isn't it? The track events, I like the heptathlon, but yeah, I think I'd sort of plump for the athletics. I watch a lot of it now. The marathon, is always something I'm really interested in. And if I could take part in kind of anything, imagine running the Olympic marathon. That would be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? So thanks for the question. Really sort of got me thinking. Again, somebody who's a bit of a sport addict. I tend to watch too much of it, if you ask Kay. But I can watch anything. I can get into anything. But it's definitely the athletics and the 100-meter night and the relays. To cap it all off. It's usually before the closing ceremony. It just sort of brings the curtain down, and normally brilliant entertainment. So thanks for the question. And that leads on to another Olympic question, bit of a theme, of course. Why not? Let's talk about it. It's something to enjoy whilst fans can't be there, which is unfortunate. I'm sure the guys taking part would really relish that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we don't need to go on into the reasons why. Which sport would you take out of the Olympics? And are there any you would like to see put in? This was from Ben. Well, this is interesting as well, because I saw a piece this week on from England netball. I think it was a tweet actually. I think saying that the three-a-side basketball, which nobody in this country has ever really heard of until these Olympics. I'm sure there's one or two that have. Is actually got a priority over netball, which is, I find a little bit staggering. Like they did, there was sort of questioning that decision, but netball's not been included. So quite surprised by that, and I think Great Britain did really well last time, or at least England in some sort of championships have done really well. So it's a bit of a disappointment that that's not in. I'm not sure what I'd take out. Everybody has to sort of earn the right to be there. Ben says himself he doesn't quite see the point in some of the sports like tennis, football, things like that, because it's what Ben says is the fact that those players, those participating in those teams, perhaps it's not the highest up on their agenda, and the Olympics is almost a pinnacle, isn't it? I see where he's coming from on that one. What would I like to see put back in? Of course, if we've got a chance, netball. And I'd like to see, with football being in there, I'd like to see a Great Britain football team, just out of interest to see how it would get on. I know we had one in 2012 and it didn't do particularly well. There was restrictions around which players could be picked. I'd love to see sort of a best of British team competing for Olympic gold, despite what Ben says. Of course, that's something I'd like to see. I'm just trying to rack my brains. I think the Olympics is all about sort of individual sports, isn't it? Not always. There's some great team sports, but individual achievements sometimes, and whilst you've got things like archery and shooting, darts, I know a lot of people would question that, but it takes technical ability, skill, it's golf, innit? I can't quite think at the moment. Another sport that takes so much technical ability, and that's kind of what a lot of these sports are about. It's just being sort of dedicated and committed to what you're doing. So some ideas there. I'm not too sure that you need to mess with it. Sometimes sports go in, sometimes they come out, because that's what the Olympics is. Each, when it goes to a different sort of country, they get to sort of pick their own sports. What we'll say, if you've got anything to sort of add to that, what's your favourite sport to watch in the Olympics, or which sport would you take out or put in? Please comment below. I'd love to get some responses to that. I might have forgot something there. I'm just kind of answering these on the spot. But love to sort of see what other people are thinking, what they're watching, what they're enjoying at the moment. If there's any particular moment from these Olympics, please let me know what you think. I really enjoyed the swimming. Adam Peaty as well. What a superstar he is. Do you know, Andy's a Forest fan. Andy comes from the other side of Derby, so that's always a bonus, you know. So yeah, really impressed with his performance, you know, and Charlotte Dujardin, you know, again, sort of the most decorated Olympian now. So there's lots to take out of it. I'm going to sort of keep tuning in and enjoying that the best I can. So thanks for the question, Ben. Like I say, if you've got any comments, please pop them below. Please check out all those links that are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You know, add comments, I'll pick them up and hopefully can sort of report back next week, maybe. Moving on to question 3, a slight change of approach. Speaking of approach, how are you going to approach the half marathon this weekend? It's from Dawn. Of course, I've been talking about this a lot, and the fact I've been sort of, it's been a difficult week in terms of preparation for it. Not run as much as I liked. I would have liked to have got at least 2 or 3 more runs in, just to build on what I did last week. Whilst I'm really pleased and happy with what I did at the Thunder Run endurance event last week, 4 laps of 10k, 40 laps. You know, I did 2 of them back to back, which was nearly a half marathon over a much more sort of difficult terrain and surfaces. You know, really, really tricky. Really took a lot out of me. Middle of the day as well, it was really hot. You know, so that gave me a lot of confidence. I did that within 2.5 hours. You know, it's not supposed to be fast. It's an endurance event. You know, but I purposely did it within that time as well. And to that time, I think I was only a few seconds out. I'm actually running this half marathon with a friend who's trying to get a world record dressed as a cricket player. You know, he's got to wear all the stuff. And whilst he's faster than me, you know, he might sort of set off at a decent pace. You know, I'm confident by the end of it, I'll be able to keep up because the pads in particular and all the gear will get quite heavy. So it's going to take a lot, especially if it's warm, especially if it's wet as well, you know, which is a distinct possibility. So again, I used that run last week. So whilst I haven't had the best preparation, I did exactly what I had to do there. I made sure I could do that time. That's the kind of time he's hinted he wants to do, anything between 2:15 and 2:30. If I was doing it in normal circumstances, if I was fit and well, you know, I'd be looking to do it a lot quicker. But this weekend, it's all about supporting Simon, and Prostate Cancer UK is raising money for them as well as trying to achieve that Guinness World Record. You know, so just really looking forward to running a half marathon with somebody different. Sometimes we approach these things with too much trepidation or too much thought about how we're going to do it and what we're going to do. You know, I'd like to think at that pace I can pick my head up. It's the London Landmarks. Sorry. It's the London Landmarks half marathon. What an inspiring place to do it. Like I said before, if I need to get my head up, look at some of the buildings, take some pictures, get some selfies, you know, post them in across all the social media like I always do. You know, I'm hopefully going to make a vlog as well. Hopefully that'll come out well and be worthwhile. Possibly put that on next Wednesday for Wednesday workout to show me doing something, trying to inspire guys to get out there and do similar things, take decisions to do good things to help other people, you know, and that's all it's about this weekend. It's just about supporting, kind of burning the candle at both ends with the party, with the fact I'm going to do that, and then we're celebrating Kay's birthday. But if you don't do these things, sometimes when will you ever, you know, and if you don't push yourself or put yourself out, you know, well, if you do that, you know, you just feel that little bit better for it, you know. And I cannot stress about times. I cannot stress about the prospect of having to run 13.1 miles because it always is a daunting prospect, no matter what sort of ability you can do, what sort of pace you can do or ability you have, you know. So it's just about sort of getting out there and making the absolute most of it. Hopefully the weather stays nice, you know, and myself and Kay, when she meets me after, and Simon, the guy I'm running with, we can celebrate in the afternoon. We're already talking about a curry on Brick Lane, so that's where I want to be almost, you know. Another one ticked off, a medal, a t-shirt, you know, and half marathon in the tank to give me confidence for even more epic stuff coming up. Thanks for the question, Dawn. And the final question, I wonder why she's asked this one. What song will you get up to the dance floor on Saturday? Of course, I've mentioned several times, Kay's got a party for her 30th birthday. We're all looking forward to it. You know, lots of people attending, and it's a first real big sort of shindig for God knows how long. You know, we all know why. Again, you know, pandemic, COVID, all that shizzle. You know, but finally we can all come together, celebrate a family occasion. You know, family and friends. I've unfortunately missed out on a big party in the same location, so Kay's taken over that, which is absolutely fine. Really looking forward to sort of everybody coming down, you know, and just whilst of course, we'll have to be a little bit careful, you know, just sort of forgetting everything. One thing I learned from that Thunder One event last week, 20 of us there, you know, and whilst there were restrictions in place, nobody spoke about COVID. Nobody spoke about the negative stuff, because we was all just enjoying each other that much, and that builds great spirit. That's put me in such a good mood this week. I've mentioned how many times I've been frustrated. I've mentioned so many times how frustrating it's been, but I've just been riding off that wave of good feeling, you know, that coming together again. It's been building over the last couple of months, but again, with a party to look forward to, you know, a few drinks, you know, whilst got to be a little bit careful. A few drinks always gets everybody in a good mood, you know. So we're really, really looking forward to it. What song will get me up? I don't know. She was telling me she'd sent a list to the DJ. I've not actually seen the list. So what I will say is last week we was asked to do a playlist, but for the Thunder One event, so we could have it in camp. We could have our favourite songs on, and the one I chose was Free From Desire. You know, I won't sing it. I was just about to sing Will Griggs on Fire. You know the one I mean? The football fans sing Will Griggs on Fire, you know. And last week when I was at Thunder One, you know, I was trying to psych myself up a little bit. It came on. I asked for it to be put on just before my lap so I could sort of get in the mood, get going. And again, you know, it's a bit of a floor filler. It's a bit of a one to bounce to, and it's just about letting the shackles off a little bit, isn't it? So if that gets me up and gets other people up, you know, and the thought of people just dancing again, you know, enjoying that sort of space to have some fun, you know, that's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? It's something we've missed far too much. Something to be said about movement. I probably don't have to say it. I've said it so many times, you know, movement creates good feeling, good spirit, you know, positivity, you know, and I heard Kay talking at the coaching session there with one or two others that they can't wait to dance, and I can't blame them, you know, if that's what they enjoy doing. You know, I'm not sure too many people want to see me dance, you know, it's nearly as bad as my singing, but it's fantastic that we can do it, isn't it? What we'll say on the back of that, what song do you like to get up and dance to? Do you know, that's the throwback question this week. If you can drop a comment below, you know, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Again, it's not important. It's nothing major. It's not going to change anyone's world. But it's great just to get these little ideas, isn't it? Perhaps somebody go, oh, I've not heard that for a long time. And how good is it when you've not heard a song for a long time and you stick it on, and then you get all these sort of sometimes emotions sort of come back in, or memories, or it might be good to go out for a run to, you know, it might get you pumped up, you know, and music's really powerful like that. Whilst we can talk and try and inspire and motivate, you know, music can do that alone, and that's why a lot of us sort of resort to it, you know, whether we are running or in the gym or at work, you know, it's fantastic, isn't it? It gets us through sometimes when things might not be so great, or, you know, we might turn to it. So basically, what song gets you up onto the dance floor, or simply what's your favourite song and why? You know, be great if we can get some comments on that. You know, everybody's got a favourite song. Just drop them in the comments. You know, it'll take you 2 minutes, 2 seconds to pop it in. it'll be great to get some responses. You know, I've got one here already from Dawn. Chesney Hawkes, the one and only. Don't we know it? You know, every get together, every occasion, she's singing that. And then she followed that up by saying the power of love. I'm not sure she knows me that well, although I am partial to a rom-com or two. And then Kay, she's really enjoyed watching the skateboarding from the previous question. Good quick fire entertainment. Kind of wasn't watching that much, and she kept sort of telling me what was going on. She was getting really into it. So again, that's what the Olympics does, isn't it? If you've got anything to add to any of those, please pop them in. Be absolutely fantastic if you can. Or send me an email, des@dorunning.org.uk. If you've got any questions, the same address, all those links across the bottom, I'll find them, pop them up, try and motivate and inspire others to keep doing things that work. Do you know, keep watching things, keep enjoying music, keep taking part in activity, keep doing absolutely everything we do. Do you know, like I've said so many times this week, I've not really had a theme sort of run through it. I tend to sort of pick something up on Monday and follow it through. Do you know, it just naturally follows through. But it's just about been pushing on, isn't it? Going again. Do you know, doing what needs doing next. Do you know, whatever I'm feeling like, sort of mentally or physically, it's just about doing it and building that momentum, you know, and that's all I'm trying to do. All these little things, all these things that we've spoken about, whether it's watching people at the Olympics or music or whatever, you know, it just builds those small wins. When those small wins build up, you know, it can build up into something quite big, something quite exciting, you know, and before you know it, you're feeling absolutely fantastic. I put a post out this week about sort of feeling really happy and content, despite the fact life isn't perfect. It really isn't. But sometimes you have to sit back and go, I'm actually quite enjoying it, because we have to live for the good times. We have to sort of work off all these good things that happen. If we don't do that, you know, we can quickly sort of get demotivated, you know, and things start spiraling out of control. Believe me, they do. You know, I've been there. What tends to happen now is there's no spiraling out of control. You know, because I'm really positive and enthusiastic about the things I do. You know, it don't get so low. Sometimes it doesn't get so high because I'm realistic, but it doesn't get so low either. And I kind of maintain a bit of a flat line and go up a bit and down a bit, but it never goes all over the place, if you get what I mean. And that's all I'm trying to be, is enthusiastic and positive. You know, I'll be exactly the same in the morning at 7 a.m, wake up to walk, continuing that challenge of the Robin Hood Way from Nottingham Castle up to the Major Oak and Sherwood Forest, leg 16 now, I believe. And I passed that halfway point last week, although technically it's not halfway anymore. It used to be before they added some miles in. So I'll be heading towards Southall and checking out the Minster and whatever's happening that way before cutting back towards Mansfield and more of Sherwood Forest country. I'm sure as I get into it now, start heading north into the county, you know, there's going to be a lot more reference to Robin Hood himself. You know, whilst it's not a major thing, you know, I love sort of just plodding along through it where there is reference. I found a little gem last week, a reference to the walk, which I didn't know I was going to stumble across, that halfway point marker. Things like that make it really work. Of course, the real purpose for me being out is to attack the day, to collect my thoughts, look back on the week, attack the weekend with purpose. I've spoke about all the way through today that I've got no choice with that one, to be honest. You know, it's what I've got to do. There's so much to do. I couldn't have it any other way. So if I can get up early, give it a real go, you know, start fitting everything in. You know, still got a few things to sort out for the party, for the birthday, for the half marathon itself. But if I'm up early and I've got some activity in, you know, I'll be in tip-top form. I'll be passing on my thoughts and ideas of how you can do that too. Please check out the video. Of course, check out those from this week without a real theme. You know, there's lots of my opinions and thoughts and the way I'm feeling, you know, hopefully, like I say, just to be relatable and something you can perhaps transfer into the way you approach things. If you've liked the video today, please like, share, subscribe, you know, it would be much appreciated. You know, please comment as well. Let's get this interaction going. Let's get people watching, viewing, you know, getting involved. If you've got something you really want to talk about, you know, I'll even get you on. You know, I'm quite prepared to talk about anything. In recent months, I've spoken about racism. You know, I've spoken about sort of men and the way they sort of treat women and all sorts of difficult subjects, you know, and I've had people come on and give over their experience. Really keen to sort of bring that back in as and when necessary and perhaps do 1 or 2 specials on a Thursday. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks as ever for watching. You know, I can sign off for the evening episodes this week. That one will be on in the morning, you know, and then I can really look forward to everything I'm doing. Until then, have a great evening. Just doing it.